What's up, flappers? Welcome back to another video. Today's stars are going to be Yoimiya and Yae Miko. As you guys have seen in the title, thumbnail, we're talking about some more conspiracy, I guess. The CN is always conjuring up something, and not a day goes by that I scour the webs on CN side that they don't come up with some sort of conspiracy or discussion based around the game of Genshin Impact. Some good, some bad. And today, unfortunately, we're going to be covering some of the more negative aspects as it pertains to Genshin Impact. And if you guys are here thinking, well, I want some positivity today, maybe it's safe to click away from this video, because CN has been going pretty hard at Mihoyo, and while they're not up in arms with pitchforks ready to make another assassination attempt, I'm sure there's a lot of concerned players over there and also in the western area alike when it comes to the current development of Genshin Impact. So what are we talking about? I'm gonna show you guys a video on screen right now. It's gonna be in Chinese so you guys don't understand it, but don't worry, I'll link it below in the description. So if you guys do understand Chinese, it's probably best to go see the video yourself. I'll paraphrase and cover bits and pieces of the video to make certain points in my video, but understand that all these thoughts and ideas, they're coming from the original video, and I'm simply giving my input and helping you guys understand what the problem is. So the main issue here is the community now questioning Mihoyo and their business decisions, their design decisions around the game state, not only for character mechanics, character artifact playstyles, but also pertaining to story development and how Mihoyo just feels like they've taken a step backwards when it comes to story quality. And this is something I've actually shared with my audience quite a lot, in thinking that recently with Inazuma's storylines, it just doesn't feel as prominent and impactful as Liyue. Alright, so with that said, let's talk about what's wrong with Yoimiya. So if you guys know about this character, you know her 4-set piece is the Shimenawa Reminiscence, and that's all fine and dandy, but what CN has really been diving into is the fact that this 4-set effect just doesn't seem to play very well with the character. And if you guys don't know what I mean by that, is if you look at Yoimiya's talent, the second one, it actually wants you to play her as an EQ cycling unit. So what that means is, after your elemental skill, your pyro infusion window is over, you're supposed to drop your burst, get off the field, and then let your burst deal damage when Yoimiya's off field. Not only does she have a second talent that leans into this, but also 2 entire constellations, being both 1 and 4, that further increases the benefits of using her burst skill. And then let's go back to the 4-piece Shimenawa. So this is what CN is saying, is that this 4-piece effect does not lend any benefits into her being a EQ cycling unit, right? And the more people looked at it, the less sense it actually made. So you can tell Mihoyo wanted Yoimiya to be this character that cycles through her elemental skill and her burst skill, but at the same time, her seemingly dedicated artifact, which was essentially built for her, right? You see, that's where CN says you might be wrong, because taking a look at the 4-piece Shimenawa, does it truly look like a set piece that was designed for Yoimiya? Not quite. Visually, CN is saying that this piece actually has more similarities to Yae Miko. Oh wow, would you believe that, right? So in the video, you guys can see they point to an item like this, seeing the hopeful heart. Literally looks like the box stick thing you shake at the shrines. If you guys have seen any Japanese anime, you guys would know, they shake these little sticks and then one of them falls out and tells you good luck, bad luck, right? It looks like something you would see at the shrines. Thematically, it just leans more to Yae Miko, and the whole discussion now centers around whether or not Yae Miko was supposed to be a character with her dedicated artifact set being the Shimenawas. And to go a step further, that back in the day, maybe back when it was the early design plan for Yae Miko, she was designed to be a more on-hit, on-field main DPS Electro. And if you look at her charge attack nowadays, it just feels like somebody lazily took her charge attack and made it slower. And all the effort that has went in to make sure Yae Miko isn't as potent of an on-field DPS as to not outshine or outperform Raiden Shogun. And in fact, they just don't want Yae Miko to be sharing a similar playstyle as Raiden Shogun. So purposefully, with Raiden's huge success and now her rerun, they made the purposeful decision to make sure that Yae Miko plays more as an off-field character. And of course, she's now released without her artifact set. Now, the video goes into much more detail regarding issues with the current state of Genshin Impact, one of which is how they've highlighted when Mihoyo designed the Inazuma storyline, they failed to take into account a lot of different plot devices and essentially has left many players feeling that the story could have gone in a much better direction, which made more sense. Currently, Yoimiya in the Inazuma storyline has almost no showtime, and a character like Kazuha, who we've met way back, which we've now traveled through, went from the very beginning leading us into Inazuma all the way to the very end with our fight with Raiden Shogun, right? And people are saying Kazuha didn't need to be our guide. Yoimiya could have easily been our guide. She had great relations with Beidou as well, and it just made more sense for her to be on Beidou's ship, with Kazuha being able to hide himself within Inazuma and be introduced to us at a later time when we were present in Inazuma, and we were going to spend much more time with Kazuha going forward in the storyline as we oppose Raiden Shogun and try to liberate Inazuma. But Yoimiya would have also gotten her screen time had she been our guide into Inazuma. So of course people are, I think at this point, bickering among the details, and it's to be expected. There's nothing really going on in Genshin Impact. Mihoyo, if you really want people to be mindless drones playing your games, you gotta be able to give us something to do. If you don't, this is what happens. People start breaking down your game, breaking down the story, breaking down the details to look for loopholes, and they've found one. CN currently has the video with over 1.3 million, I think 1.4 million views now, and steadily growing as more and more people are in support of this finding. So let's just take a closer look at Yoimiya as well. They're saying that Yoimiya has a better artifact set, and in fact, Yoimiya seems like a character that bridges the gap between Liyue and Inazuma characters. She's designed much more like a traditional Liyue DPS unit with Liyue era mechanics essentially. And people are saying retracing Bolide fits Yoimiya more, both visually and also the effect isn't too bad, right? And this has been talked about by many content creators, not even in CN, right? In the West, people have said that, you know, Yoimiya actually works really well with this set and it actually doesn't hinder her burst skill, and she can be a free unit using this to maximize all aspects of her kit. So Mihoyo, right? What gives? Why the decision to create a character, her kit with her burst skill, just to have her dedicated artifact not work for her? So CN's answer was, well, maybe that artifact wasn't for her. Now, with all that said, there's one more character who is essentially a victim of what's going on here, and that is Kokomi. So let's take Kokomi in here and talk about what's wrong with Kokomi. So what they're saying is essentially Kokomi was supposed to be released now. When Yae Miko was released, that's when Kokomi was supposed to come out, and Yae Miko was supposed to go back when Kokomi first came out. But for some reason, Mihoyo decided to flip their orders for whatever reason, and maybe it's because they didn't want conflicting electro units with Raiden Shogun, seeing how amazing Raiden Shogun did in sales. And this all goes back to the reality that we live in, which is we are playing a mobile game. With content releases every 6 weeks, it's inevitable to have these sudden changes where Mihoyo feels like, you know what, we have to take it in this direction because we have to protect our profits. Money always will come first, and CN doesn't really like that. While we as players, at least the reasonable ones, understand that this is a product of Mihoyo and they need to make money out of it. It's a free-to-play game, and we all got into this game back in the day when the developer was willing to bank their entire life savings to make a wonderful game. And this is what CN is questioning. Do they still have that drive? Is the passion still there? Are they going to continue siphoning money out of people's wallets with lackluster designs, mediocre story developments, and prioritizing profits over what makes sense and what's enjoyable? Where has the passion gone? Did success change Mihoyo, or are the tech otakus still in there somewhere? Personally, when I look at it like this, I've always been saying that Mihoyo has done a great job designing the game from the ground up, but recently it's no secret that they're showing signs of slowing down. They're slipping. The passion doesn't feel like it's there anymore. And of course, that could just be me. Maybe I'm just too used to the quality that Mihoyo is putting out, and expectations continues to grow. But honestly, I feel like Yae Miko is a character that could have easily been much more potent and powerful, much more clearly defined in her role in the game as opposed to what we got. And it's evident that next patch we are not going to get her artifact set either. So is Mihoyo banking on the fact that this is a popular character, therefore they were able to kind of lacklusterly release her and know that people are still going to end up paying for her? If that's the case, where do we put our faith in going forward for Mihoyo to release good characters and content for players to enjoy? If you're an OG player like myself and like the many ones in China, this is raising a lot of concerns going forward as to where Mihoyo, I guess now Hoyoverse's priority lies. All right, with that said, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. This concludes the coverage of what people in CN has been talking about. If you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe, as I'm always up to date with the current Genshin news, and I love talking about it with you guys and hearing what you have to say. So until next time, I urge you all to stay safe and peace.